Welcome to the Premier League show. That time of the season where team of the seasons have been put together and player of the season getting spoke about and all that last couple of games now. Before, well, really, it's the last game, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is still a couple of games this week.
Going into the last weekend.
But the conversation's turned to manager of the year and all of that. And it's an interesting one, I always find, like the manager of the year and sometimes the player of the year as well. Because, you know, how big an achievement is it if you are at Manchester City or Liverpool to be given manager of the year? You're obviously a brilliant manager. You've won trophies and all that. And there is a conversation on this week's Last Fan Standing about whether it's boring just to give that trophy to Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. That's what the lads had to say.
So boring to give it to Klopp or Pep, isn't it? Like, they're expected to do what they do. This is.
I don't think Klopp's expected to do this, bro.
Not.
I genuinely don't think you expect this from Klopp. Like, look at some of the players that. Like, I know we look at Andy Robertson now as a top world class left back, but a couple of years ago, nobody like Pep wouldn't have done this with him. Like, you look at Trent, Pep wouldn't have done that with Trent. Like, even the likes of they've bought Van Dijk and they've bought Alisson and they're great players, but when you look at some of the Origi coming off the bench, like it's crazy. And I know they've got better depth now, and they've brought in the likes of what's his face, can't remember his name, but Diaz, yeah. But you gotta look at it and say Klopp is working wonders with that team.
Quite an interesting scene change from Ned. Interesting. Make sure you do get over to BetVictor's YouTube channel. Check out the rest of that Last Fan Standing video. Check it out. Leave your comments. Say who you think should be manager of the year. But is it wrong that those managers just seem to hoover it up each year when other managers, in my opinion, have greater achievements?
If Manchester City do win the Premier League, still no way on earth Pep Guardiola's the manager of the season. There's no way on earth.
No.
I would give it ahead of.
Jurgen Klopp's got a better shout, surely.
If he wins the Champions League and doesn't win,
but it's before then. So
no, I know, but I'm just saying, if he won 3 trophies and didn't win the Premier League, then he's done better. It's as simple as that. And obviously he's had to juggle more. Premier League's harder to win. I appreciate that, and that's why I wouldn't give it to. For me, I wouldn't give it to Ardern because I just think that, I don't know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you can sort of sit here and go, well, they're miles ahead, they've got better budgets than everyone else and all that, but that's not always the case. Liverpool, Klopp's done extraordinarily well. 2 teams that are finishing in over 90 points is unbelievable. Whichever one of them wins the Premier League is unbelievable, and it shows how far away they are. But I do think there are other candidates if you want to go down the league. You've got to look at a team and say, well, there's only 2 teams who can win the Premier League at the moment. So everybody else has to be measured on different achievements.
Sure. You see, for me, someone like Thomas Frank would be a better shout because Brentford have come up. They haven't spent a lot of money at all. They've been developing over a few years. Yeah. They're way clear of any kind of relegation trouble. Christian Eriksen coming in January as well.
Which was a bold decision as well.
Yeah, it was. But how well they've done and where they are, I think he's done magnificently well. I think David Moyes at West Ham got to a European semi-final. They're in Europe again next season. You know, again, not a huge, but I mean, spent money in the summer, but still doing really well. You know, finishing. It looks like they're going to finish above Manchester United.
And when you think about, if you compare them to Leicester, and that would be a good bar because Leicester are in European competition. They got to European semi-final. You know, not obviously they fell out of the Europa League and went into the conference. West Ham have managed to could be finishing, 6th ahead of Manchester United.
If Palace were to beat United on Sunday and West Ham win, then West Ham finish 6th.
Yeah, so that shows you that their bar is with what they've done with juggling stuff, because I think that's the other thing. If you go far deep into the European competitions, and also you can stay and get a European competition through the league. I think that's awfully difficult.
Yeah.
So I think they've done brilliantly. I think the other one I would mention as well is Eddie Howe. I think the job he's done at Newcastle from where they were to how many points they've got now deserves a little mention as well. I think that's, the fact that almost when he came in, they had like about 4 points, if that. So everything they've got, he's basically created himself. And I know that he hasn't been there for the whole season. But the fact that he's won them most of their points shows how well of a job he's done as well.
And what about Conte at Spurs?
Conte's done really well.
In November.
Went in early enough and he's got them heading for a top 4 place. You've got to say he's done a really good job. I wouldn't necessarily say he was manager of the season just because he's got 2 world-class centre forwards playing for him. So that's slightly different. But as I said, it's all about what your job is, what you are tasked with doing. Because I'd say Thomas Tuchel he's underperformed. Is really underperformed. No trophy, 2 cup finals, no trophy. Finishing 3rd when a lot of people tipped him for the league this season after winning the Champions League. So I would look at him and go, I think he's done poorly this season
for him.
So you've got to measure it on what the expectations are and what your finances are and all the rest of it. And I just think, and that's funny. A team that finishes 10th place, you can look at them and go, they've done amazingly. But a team that've done 3rd, for me, have been in Chelsea, have had a poor season. Yeah, for the expectations.
Thomas Frank, I'm going for. But if Jurgen Klopp, if Liverpool win 3 or 4 trophies, you'd have to.
They're doing it 4, then
He's got to get it, doesn't he? No, obviously they deserve plaudits because they're 2 fantastic managers. But I just think sometimes it might be a bit bigger than that. But we'll see. We'll see. There was game. Obviously, Liverpool won the FA Cup on Saturday on penalties. The second final.
I didn't know.
Them and Chelsea played out a 0-0 draw again. So Liverpool just really good at pens. There you go. On to Sunday, Spurs, which was a big game at both ends of the table. Spurs against Burnley. The opportunity for Tottenham to get above Arsenal. And Burnley obviously fighting for the Premiership survival. And it took a penalty in their first half stoppage time to separate them. Although I watched the opening half an hour and Tottenham should have had the game put to bed. Nick Pope's made a lot of good saves, although Maxwell Corner missed a great chance at 0-0. But the young on Tottenham and went above Arsenal into that 4th place. And
well, Burnley unlucky really, and the penalty's contentious, but got his hand in a position above his head, so when it's hit it, it's a penalty just before half time. Obviously Burnley have got a couple of games now to try and save themselves, like we have, and it'd be interesting because obviously what they're trying to do is trying to stay as tight as they can, and then they know they're good off set pieces and stuff, and if they can try and nick that lead in any of these 2 games like they did on Sunday, then just get every man behind the ball, and I think we'll see if that
Villa away and Newcastle at home. Newcastle flying, so they're both tough games. They're obviously at the moment 3rd from bottom, aren't they, in the bottom 3 with that defeat. Straight after that, Leeds had the opportunity, their final home game, to give themselves a lifeline against Brighton. Went 1-0 down, Danny Welbeck and Pascal Struijk equalised in the 92nd minute to give them a point, a vital point. Wasn't enough for what they wanted, obviously, but it's a point. And it kept them above Burnley.
Got them out the bottom 3, and who knows how important that point will be.
Well, if both end up losing the games, then Leeds stay up with that point. So it could be a huge point, especially because the goal difference is dreadful. So it was a huge goal for Leeds, that. And then obviously after that Everton played, so Everton just needed a victory, would have kept them safe against Brentford. Started off really well. Contentious refereeing decisions from Michael Oliver and Brentford, who've been superb this season. Ended up winning 3-2, and it means Everton have still got work to do to survive. Got 2 games to do it. 2 points keeps them up. A win, obviously, against. And
that just shows how important that Leeds point was, because obviously you need 2 points, then you need a win. If it had been a point, then Everton could have been tactically slightly different for Sunday's game. Could have been tactically, going into the Palace game, you'd be thinking, just Everton just get a point, but at least, needing a win the game plan will be to get
Well,
away.
that's it. You know exactly what's needed. Elsewhere on the day in a huge game at the top, Manchester City went 2-0 down to West Ham. Jarrod Bowen, who's been brilliant this season. He's been brilliant since he's gone to West Ham, let's be honest. He scored 2 goals to put them 2 up. And Liverpool fans were thinking, could this weekend get any better?
Yeah.
But Jack Grealish and a Kufal own goal got it back to 2-2, and then Riyad Mahrez missing a penalty with 5 minutes to go.
Big chance, nice height. Normally whips them right into the corner.
Yeah.
And the City, they haven't missed one for a while, but it come back to haunt them when they really needed it. And yeah, they could have just done with those extra 2 points just to make it a little bit less tense on the final day of the season.
But they know what they've got to do, don't they?
You know,
they've just got to win. They beat Villa, the champions, and that's what it comes down to. Elsewhere on the day, Leicester went to Watford and duly dispatched them by 5 goals to 1.
Did exactly what Everton should have done.
Yeah, Everton struggled. They didn't. Jamie Vardy, Harvey Barnes getting a couple of goals each. James Maddison with the other Leicester goal after João Pedro put Watford 1-0 up in that one. Wolves played Norwich. Timu Pukki put Norwich ahead. Antinori equalised for Wolves, but a good point for Norwich.
Both of them seeing out the season.
Yeah,
it's petered off massively for Wolves in the last few weeks when they had genuine chance of getting into Europe, and they've had a couple of draws obviously in the last couple of weeks, and they finished the season away at Liverpool, don't they now? So I think that'll be 27-0.
Comfortable victory for Liverpool, I imagine. And the final game on Sunday was Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Ollie Watkins put Villa ahead on 69 minutes, but a Jeffrey Schlupp equaliser. 9 minutes from time gave them a share of the points. Quite even possession, not much between them. Palace had 16 shots, Villa had 13. Both had 4 on target. Puts them where they are on the table. Aston Villa are 14th on 44 points. Palace 13th on 45 points. So,
but of course, both of them play.
Both of them play Thursday night. So see what happens there. And then moving on to Monday. Arsenal had the opportunity to go back above Spurs.
Yeah,
you know, they knew if they won. Well, if they won the both games, they were in the top 4. Not something they could do. And they went up to Newcastle, and Ben White own goal and a Bruno Guimaraes goal with 5 minutes left has given Newcastle another home victory.
Yeah, they never really looked like Arsenal. Never really looked in here at all. You know, Newcastle were first to everything. Arsenal looked a bit leggy. Obviously, they played on the Thursday night, got battered by Tottenham with only 10 men, and they just didn't look up for it at all. And you know, the second, 2 defeats in a row after winning the previous 3, and
haven't lost the previous 4.
Yeah, so it's been an up and down few couple of months for them, and they've just fell up way at the wrong time.
Well, Newcastle had more possession, which is mad.
Yeah, they played well, Newcastle.
16 attempts at goal to Arsenal's 11.
And obviously Spurs just have to go to Norwich now on Sunday and get a result, and that's it. And they'll qualify for the Champions League, and that's obviously
a draw for Tottenham.
That's what I'm saying, just a result.
Yeah, a draw.
What a bitter pill that'll be to swallow if you're an Arsenal fan, losing the 4th place to your rivals.
Spurs, yeah. I mean, it's frustrating for them because they would have had that. It was in their own hands, and you blow that opportunity.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because a lot of people almost a couple of weeks ago thought that the Arsenal game with Spurs was just going to be almost just gone. They'd lost it, but it shows how important that point for Spurs was at Anfield as well.
Yeah, massive.
Getting that point, and
massive.
Arsenal had their own destiny, just had to beat Tottenham. Or simply not lose the game.
Don't lose the game.
And
they were 5 points ahead of them.
And they went there and went a bit frantic, and it's completely gone now by the looks of it.
Rob Holding, silly boy. And then last night, at the time of recording, Liverpool were going to Southampton, obviously 4 points adrift on Man City, needing to win. Went behind. Nathan Redmond after 13 minutes, but Minamino, who spent last season on loan at Southampton, remember?
Just took over, didn't he?
Equalised, and Joel Matip scored. Yeah. But 71% possession, 24 attempts at goal to 4.
They
only have 5 on side.
Basically a complete second team as well.
Yeah,
so
big
that's having confidence in your own players, though, isn't it? That shows the difference. I think that's been the difference with Klopp in the last year or so, is that he's now got a squad that he completely trusts, and he doesn't mind sending out a team because they're all in it. They're both of them, both of them and City are just frighteningly better than everybody else, and can send second teams out to because they know both teams know they'll work harder than the opposition, and they got the 3 points. Now it goes to the final day. Obviously, lots of narratives. Villa, Gerrard up against City have an opportunity. Signing Coutinho, but obviously Villa play at home on Thursday as well, so they're going to have that game as well, aren't they, ahead of the City game? And City will have a lot of the ball, and you can imagine the weather will be hot and all those kind of things. And sometimes, as much as you want to beat the opposition, if City can get an early goal, then I think that'll be it. But listen, Liverpool will own to Wolves. They'll dispatch them quite easily, and they'll just be hoping that Villa stay in the game maybe and make it really difficult. But who knows?
I think it'll be the kind of performance we put in at City last season.
Yeah.
I think City, like Liverpool, Wolves and Villa, they'll go there with the best intentions. I just think them two teams are just too good.
Yeah.
It's just no matter what you do.
Well, City have used to it as well, aren't they? This is not their first time.
No, not the first rodeo, is it? And a lot of their leagues they've won on the last day, which is mad, isn't it?
Well, it just shows again how well Liverpool have done now. You know what I mean? Like you can't like both of them are head and shoulders better than everybody else.
Well, at the moment, we've got City are on 90 points from 37 games. Liverpool are on 89 from 37. So they're both going to post 90 plus seasons again.
Incredible.
It just shows you that they are fantastic, the pair of them. Chelsea are 20 points behind Man City and 19 points behind Liverpool, albeit they've got a game in hand, but even so, that's it.
We'd see it if Ned had put the table on.
Yeah, well, I thought the league table was coming. There it is, there's the confirmation. City a point ahead of Liverpool with a better goal difference as well going into it. That's kind of irrelevant now because of the point situation. Chelsea back in third, 70 points from 36, and then Spurs, of course, 68 points from 37 games. Arsenal 66 from 37, so a point for Tottenham at Norwich. They're in the Champions League.
Yeah, and also just going back before what we said before, imagine if West Ham finish above Man United.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it?
Man United end up in the conference.
Manchester United, they should be doing better. You'd think with the budget and all that. Crystal Palace, last home game of the season at Selhurst Park, you wouldn't back against them. West Ham go to Brighton, who were very beatable. Yeah. Tough game, but West Ham can win there, and that would take them above Manchester United. And then obviously at the bottom, we know what's needed. Brentford are around to Leeds.
Well, of course, we've got games Thursday night as well.
Brentford, Everton.
Burnley, Villa, Burnley, Everton, Palace.
So if Everton were to win, Everton would be safe. If Burnley were to win, they'd be 2 points ahead of Leeds going into that final game. Yeah. Burnley at home to Newcastle, Leeds away at Brentford. But at the time of recording, there's still just 2 points between Burnley, third from bottom, and Everton in 16th. So
nervy few days for everybody, I think.
It's a monumental last day, isn't it? Because the championship's still up for grabs, the relegation places are still up for grabs, and the fourth and the European place. So it's almost as if someone's written a script
it feels
to
like
be
that,
the final day. That's how it feels, and it's worked out that way. So there you go. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Who's going to win the league? Who's getting that top four? Who's staying up? Make sure you check out BetVictor's YouTube channel. Give them a little subscribe as well. Check the last fan stand out. Leave your comments over there as well. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do so. And if you want more videos, including daily life videos, join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. See you later.